Welcome to r/Bestof Redditor updates, where OP's boyfriend tries to poison her to death. Our next Reddit post is from r/relationship advice. I'm a generally fit, active, and healthy 29-year-old woman who gets sick only maybe once a year, and it lasts at most 2 days before I'm back on my feet. I have been with my significant other, a 30-year-old guy, for over a year now, and we haven't had any major fights at all. However, starting 5 months ago or so, my significant other has been sending me food that either he or his family has prepared, and also various supplements, which I take from time to time. And call me crazy, but I've noticed my health start to decline. I'm less able to work out, and I've gotten sick frequently. Note that I've been cooking and eating my own food all this time, and I have not fallen sick at all. Also, note that he and his family can cook. This isn't one of those amateurish cooking food poisoning types of things. My significant other has access to both hospital supplies and agricultural supplies. His family has versatile professions. I took a stool test one time that I got sick, but that came back normal, so I thought that I might just be overthinking it. I have absolutely no way of knowing for sure. Nonetheless, I've gotten sick again, and I ordered some delivery. The next day, I felt much better. However, my significant other brought over some more food the next day, which I ate, and lo and behold, I got a bit sicker the next day. As for the motive, I don't know at all. I'm not parasitic, and I shower them with gifts regularly to acknowledge and reciprocate their goodwill. I'm keeping them from finding out my suspicions, but yeah, how should I proceed? Then, 3 months later, OP posted an update. I confronted my ex outright. Although he tried deflecting and gaslighting at the start, I firmly kept pressing, and he finally admitted it. It turns out that his mother had been lacing the food with some chemical compound from their farm. From the original post, his mother one day started packing food for me, and I started getting sick. At first, I thought that it was COVID. However, when I went to see the doctor, he said outright that what I had was not COVID. Then I got sick again, and the progression of sickness went exactly the same way. The same symptoms and duration. By this time, I definitely felt something was up. After days of just throwing up the food prepared for me and not getting sick ever again, when my ex came over, I finally confronted him. As usual, he tried to weasel his way out, but I put my foot down. He admitted that his mother didn't like me, that she thought I was taking him away from her. The conversation went something like this. What? Take you away from her? What the hell does that even mean? Well, I don't know. But her conclusion is to poison me? My ex turned and looked away and stopped making eye contact. I felt a nagging sense that something wasn't right and didn't make much sense. So why did you say nothing all this time? I told her to stop. And how do we know she stopped? At this point, he was shocked. His shock shocked me. Something was definitely wrong. I stopped eating the food you guys had been preparing for me, and I just threw them out instead. I haven't had any problems since. He didn't say anything. But why? Why all this? You knew. Actually, at this point, I just wanted everything to be done with. But I knew I had to keep pressing to get answers I wanted to find closure. After a while, he finally admitted he was the one who wanted to poison me. He wanted a way out of the relationship. He'd started casually conversing with another woman and said that he maybe wanted to be with her. His conclusion was to have his mom prepare food and lace them with chemicals from the farm. What the F was I hearing? So why poison me? Why not just tell me? He thought that if I was sick long enough, he would find an excuse to say the relationship wasn't working. What the actual F? At this point, it went without saying that I was beyond just upset. This was an effing crime being admitted to. He also said he never thought I would get that sick. That I would just be lethargic and felt overwhelmed. He expected me to break up with him, too. Well, that I did anyways. He pleaded with me to not call the cops on him or his mother. I said I'll think about it and made him leave my place. The audacity of this guy. I've since broken up with him and moved on with my life. F that guy. Yo, I get that breaking up with someone can be difficult. It's awkward and it makes you feel guilty. You can always just ghost your partner. I mean, it does suck to ghost someone. It is kind of unethical. But you know what's more unethical than ghosting? Murder. Poisoning someone to death. It's so bizarre that someone's so cowardly they can't just man up and break up with their partner, but they are ballsy enough to murder them. Our next Reddit post is from r/relationship advice. So my girlfriend and I, who are both 26, got in a fight about this 2 nights ago, and she's making it seem like I'm being the butthole. We've been dating for 4.5 months. My girlfriend has a 2013 Lenovo laptop that has seen better days. As it stands right now, among some other issues, her keyboard totally doesn't work. Because of this, she always uses a small Bluetooth keyboard with her laptop. She texted me the next morning saying that her wireless keyboard had stopped working as well. We had already planned for me to stay the night at her place after I got off work, so I offered to stop by my place on the way to grab her a keyboard, as I have a few extras. When I got to her place, she was eagerly awaiting the keyboard, which makes sense, as she wasn't able to use her computer for most of the day. But when I handed her the keyboard, she started getting really quiet and pouty. A bit later, when I asked her what was wrong, she said she thought I'd be bringing her something nicer, like the keyboard I have at my desk. The thing is, I have a really nice keyboard at my desk. I'm a programmer, and I love this keyboard so much that I also bring it to work with me. I even have specific macro profiles for it that definitely improve my workflow. For context, I had an extra Amazon Basics keyboard that's like $15 lying around. Still brand new in the box. My personal keyboard, which I've had for years, is some variant of the Razer Black Widow, which is like $120. Anyway, she was apparently expecting me to be selfless and let her use my nice keyboard while I used the Amazon keyboard. She was upset that I didn't value her enough to lend her my nice possessions, and I left her with the cheap $10 keyboard, her words. She said if the situation was reversed, she'd lend me the nice keyboard. I explained to her that I have my keyboard specifically set up for work, and because I'm so used to it, it would hinder my ability to do work if I didn't have it. We continued to argue about it. Things have come to a head when she boldly claimed that if I wasn't willing to lend her my nice keyboard, that I should have bought her a nice new keyboard if I really cared about her. This is when I got really mad. I told her she was acting like an entitled, spoiled child, and that she should have been grateful that I went out of my way in the first place to grab her the Amazon keyboard. She started crying and asked me to go home. I left, but I still gave her the Amazon keyboard to use. I was far more upset at the principle of the situation than the keyboard itself. So now she's calling me a butthole for both not giving her my keyboard and because I called her spoiled. We're gonna meet up tomorrow to talk about this in person because I refuse to continue this silly argument over text. I'm thinking about ending things with her, as I feel like this is her showing me her true colors. Then, the next day, OP posted an update. We met earlier tonight and sat down to talk. I was somewhat prepared to end things with her, so I suggested we meet at her place so that I could bail if things went south. And they did. Even though I thought I made my post as anonymous as possible, one of my girlfriend's coworkers figured out who the post was about and sent it to my girlfriend. The reason she wanted to meet early was because she was furious that I'd made the post, airing our dirty laundry. In a sense, I guess she was right because at least one person had figured it out. My girlfriend never used Reddit, so I figured I was safe. There's a strong chance she'll read this one as well, lol. Anyway, she immediately began berating me, telling me that I made her look bad in the post and lied about the details of our argument to get people on my side. I asked her to point out any part of it that wasn't true or where I lied. Long story short, she couldn't point to a single thing. I definitely raised my voice when I told her that if she looked bad, it's only because of her actions. I told her that I only made the post to get some perspective on the matter. The post was 100% accurate, and she knew it. She began to tear up and asked me if I really was considering leaving her over a keyboard. I asked her if she understood that this wasn't about the keyboard. It was about the way she acted towards me when I was trying to do her a favor. She stayed silent and didn't answer. I asked her what had prompted this outburst, if everything was okay with her. I asked if anything had happened with her friends, parents, or at work that was upsetting her and may have led to this. She got really defensive, asking, "Are you calling me crazy? Do you think I'm unstable?" I had no idea where she was going with this. I told her I wasn't calling her crazy, but that she had to understand that I was quite confused about how she was acting and that there had to be a reason for it. We talked in circles for a bit, and I tried to pry it out of her. I still don't know what caused all of this because she simply wouldn't tell me. Then I realized our conversation was going nowhere. I finally asked her if we were going to have an adult conversation, or if this was the hill she was willing to let the relationship die on. She asked, "What do you want from me?" And I said, "I want an apology." She was absolutely unwilling to apologize. She thought that my betrayal of posting this was far worse than her initial behavior was. We talked for about 5 minutes before I told her that I don't even care anymore. I told her this whole thing was exhausting, as she wasn't willing to help us get to the bottom of this, that we should just break up. I didn't waste any time making my way to the door. As I was leaving, she asked if I wanted the keyboard back. She didn't ask to be nice. She was definitely trying to get on my nerves. I could tell by her tone of voice. I told her she could keep it as long as she promised never to call or text me again. I've been getting tons of not so nice messages from her friends. She obviously told her friends some false version of the story, which made it seem like I really did leave her over the keyboard. I couldn't care less, as I'll never be seeing any of them again. We only dated for 4 months, so in the end, I don't feel terribly heartbroken. Mostly just relief that it's over, but also confusion. Still have no idea why she acted out. Man, I hate the line when she says, "Are you really dumping me over the keyboard?" Because the thing is, she's also willing to end the relationship over a keyboard. If all she has to do is apologize, then she could potentially salvage the relationship. But because she's digging her heels in over a keyboard, then yeah, she's also willing to end the relationship over a keyboard. This lady's so entitled, she's just making everything about herself. Sounds exhausting. You made the right call, OP. Our next Reddit post is from rSlash relationship advice. I'm a 25-year-old female, and my roommate is a 34-year-old male. I moved to a new town last year, only knew one person, and I stayed with her for a bit until I found a house to rent, but I needed a roommate. She introduced me to a guy she worked with who also needed a roommate because he just got a divorce. I met him first, didn't get weird vibes, and he seemed nice enough. About 6 months ago, he made the suggestion to be friends with benefits, and I made the stupid mistake of agreeing. We both did not want a relationship. Everything was fine, until he started getting weird and staying up until I got home, questioning me about where I'd been and who I was around. I then ended the hooking up, told him I didn't think that it was like that, and he got mad. Everything was fine, for a bit, until yesterday. I live in a pretty rural area where most businesses are small and family-owned. Since not a lot of people are getting out, I decided to go ahead and get some new tires and support a mechanic shop that I go to, since I doubt they're getting regular business at the moment. I'm there waiting when the guy comes over and tells me he wants to show me something. I'm like, okay. We go over to my car and he bends down and points under at a black box. He asks me if I know what it is, and he tells me it's a GPS. It took me a second to understand the implication of a GPS being under my car. I was like, so someone put it there? It's clear I have no idea why it's there, and he got actually concerned and told me if I didn't know, I needed to find out. I feel so creeped out because I have no friends here. The friend I knew moved away. I only know some people at work, but we're not friends and it's been hard to meet people. There's no other way a GPS would be on my car unless my roommate put it there. Now I'm freaked out in a way that I've never been before and I can't move out. I'm scared to ask him about it. I have no one to stay with, no family here. What do I do? Do I just ask him about it outright? I left the GPS there because I don't want him to know that I know at the moment. What do I do? Then, the next day, OP posted an update. So, last night, I decided to suddenly pack my things and plan on making the drive at some point today back to my hometown. My roommate works during the day, but I work from home because my office is closed until at least this summer. I realized I could probably fit all my stuff in my car, and since my lease ends in May anyway, I'm just moving out. The only furniture that's mine is my bed, and it's old, so I think I'm just gonna leave it here. I went down to the police station early this morning and had them remove it. I don't think there's much they can do besides document it. They asked me some questions, and I said I didn't know, but I know no one here, and I think that it might have come from my roommate. They said it looked like a cheap one from Amazon or eBay, and they'll check it out. Honestly, I may just end up staying home. I miss being in a familiar place where I know basically everyone in town, and I miss my friends. Working from home for a few months might give me enough time to switch jobs. Then, one day later, OP posted another update. I'm all settled in now. I ended up asking my roommate about the tracker via phone. He admitted to it, got freaked out when I said I gave it to the police, and he said he was concerned for my safety when I would go places by myself after work. Yeah, okay. We got into a scuffle about it. He finally snapped and said that he knew I was seeing someone when I was hooking up with him, even though I wasn't. So, yeah, my first experience with crazy and hopefully my last. I like this comment from Sweaty Training. He was concerned for my safety. Buddy, you are the safety concern. That was r/Best of Redditor updates. And if you like this content, check out my podcast where I publish the exact same episodes. Also, hit that subscribe button because I put out new Reddit videos every single day.